Hello, I'm Lynn Hicks, and we're going to have another lesson today on two of my very favorite shifters for when you are in a low space, when you aren't feeling really good, and different ways to kind of just shift yourself. Because to me, it's wonderful to do an hour of yoga. It's wonderful to do all these techniques. But when you go out in the world and you could be feeling absolutely wonderful, and if you're not protected and you're not paying attention, it's very easy to have things kind of throw you off balance. And life is just full of things off balance, especially as you get older. People are sick, the news is worse, people's children, people's parents. And so life is just going to have many stressful and anxious situations in it. And it's really important for us to kind of stop our minds from all the rambling and chatting when there is a particular situation and ruminating over it and all of that, and trying to find ways to me throughout the day that I can shift, because then I can quickly switch the way I feel and then get back on purpose to what I'm doing instead of getting caught up in that mind rambling tale that we all know of. I think family creates it the most for me. If something's going on in my family and there's issues, and I'll like have conversations in my head and oh, I should say this and that, and I'll just play it and play it and play it. And sometimes it could be days. So we really need to come up with some techniques that can shift us from that. And that is what I am a master of, because I love to learn ways that only take a minute or two, because we don't have time to go do an hour of yoga. Maybe we don't have time to go do anything in our busy life. So any little small trick that we can have throughout our day, when we notice and we're aware that we're not really operating in our best clear self, that we come up with techniques to shift them. So the very first one I want to do is about sound. And in the law of energy, sound and movement are quicker than thinking. So if you think about it, when you're walking and you're walking outside, say, you might, your senses are engaging in everything. You're hearing, you're seeing, you're feeling the wind. And so your body is moving. Your sensual nature is absorbing what is happening moment by moment. But maybe our mind's going to notice this beautiful flower. And so it's going to stop and it's going to look at the flower and smell it. And we're still could be in the moment. But then the minute we go, oh, that reminds me of a flower that I got at my anniversary and blah, blah, blah. The next thing that's happening is actually our mind is in lag behind. So the rest of us is still perceiving and moving forward, but our mind has kind of just jumped out of presence, and now it has this whole other thing going on. And really, we want to be able to bring ourselves all back into presence and really pay attention to when the mind kind of just wants to go off, because most of the time it's in the past or it's worrying about the future. And really, the greatest key to awareness and enlightenment is to be present and enjoying what you're doing. So oftentimes, what I'll do is if I'm in a low feeling nature or something has hit me or something's taken over my mind, you can use sound to shift you. So we all know this because we listen to music, and when you're listening to music, if it's sad, it can make you start crying. If it's happy, it can make you drive fast. So sound is a really, really powerful tool, and it can shift you quicker than thinking or talking yourself out of whatever's going on in your mind. So easily you can put on some music that's soothing, put on some music that's rowdy and powerful if you need power, put on music that's very flowing if you need to calm down, and just really use this tool of sound to help you shift out of your mind, to kind of bring you present. And if you add movement into that, like if you dance or you just kind of flow with it, then now you're shifting even faster and you're bringing your mind back into your body, you're grounding into your body, and you're able to be present again. And often that's all that it is. You could use the breath, and that could bring you presence and bring you right into the now. But a lot of times when the brain it's run on its own, the mind has these great habits and these great grooves that it goes into. And sometimes you need something more than breathing. I know I do, or I'll try breathing and it doesn't work. And that's where I found that sound and movement work much quicker. So if you were to feel low and you were to put on some inspiring music, it will naturally raise your vibe and get you out of your mind. It just does it. It's like a wonderful thing. It's the wonderful gift of music and what I learned through having the drum circles, how healing of a vibe it is. And you can also use movement. If you were to be really tired, you could lay on the couch and take a nap, which at certain times that's what's necessary. At other times, it's not what's necessary. You're just in low energy. And if you were to just do any kind of movement, 10 jumping jacks, you would swirl up your energy field and you would shift everything. It would bring you present. You wouldn't be in your mind because it takes coordination and it takes energy to do 10 jumping jacks, and you would shift. You'd suddenly feel much more bright, much more happy, much more energized. And that's why working out is so powerful. You're oxygenating your body, you're moving. And the minute you start to do anything physical, you're bringing the mind back in to sit there and get out of its little tail and really ground into presence. So we use sound and movement for ourselves. And I use them throughout the day. If I'm feeling low or I've been on the computer too long, and I'm starting to get tired, I just get up and move. I oxygenate, I put on some music, I'll dance, I'll do, mostly I'm a dancer, so I do dance. I just think it's the quickest way to raise your vibe. Lovely music. I'm stimulating all my central nature and I'm getting out of my mind. So there are two very healing ways that you can use to shift yourself from that thinking mode. And again, so much of the stuff that we do is masculine in nature, and that's what we've been taught. So we would try to think ourselves out of thinking. And you know what? It just doesn't work for women. We really want to get involved in that emotional body, and movement helps that. Sound and stimulates the emotions. So there are two wonderful ways to kind of get yourself back on track. And you don't have to do it for 20 minutes or whatever. A lot of people take a walk outside and they'll go for a walk, but it doesn't take an hour. It only takes so much time to really ground yourself in your body and to get present and shift. So just a quick walk, a quick jumping jack, a quick dance, a quick bit of movement. You just get up and you do something that creates presence and creates your mind to kind of get on board, and physical movement is fast and sound is very quick. So there are two wonderful techniques you can use. And I'd love to add in a third one because I think this is one of the most healing things for women, and especially with their sensual nature, and that's to bring in scent. And a lot of people wear perfume and things like that, so they're very love scents. We love the smell of pie baking and good food cooking when you walk in, especially on a winter morning or when you go into Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner, and all the wonderful smells of food. The really lovely thing about scent is that really wakes up your brain, and all of aromatherapy is based on that. It's your olfactory sense, and it just starts to stimulate your brain. And I use essential oils. So I have a slew of essential oils. And I would highly recommend that everybody get some because, number one, it really stimulates our sensual nature. And essential oils are made to go into your bloodstream immediately, and they actually are plant help to all of your different organs. So the aromatherapy, it's not just about your brain, but it literally goes into your body, absorbed quickly through your bloodstream, and it supports your body and your organs. And in the Indian medicine, food is our medicine. So anytime that we can use real plants, real food, real things without the preservatives and without other stuff in it, we're really just helping our body's innate health system. I use essential oils a lot. I have them in my purse, I have them on my counter, I have them in my car. And whenever you're using essential oils, what you do is you put them on your hand and you rub your hands together, and then you put it up to your nose like that, and you take 7 long, deep inhales. Now, sometimes it seems like forever to get through 7 if you're in a rush, but if you take 7 long, deep inhales, the power they have to shift your mood is incredible. And each essential oil has a different message. Some are about love, some are about protection, some are about happiness. The citruses are very cleaning and very bright. Geranium gives you a very optimistic attitude. Magnolia is about love and fear. Rose is about self-love. So they all have different messages, and I would just go into a health food store and find some essential oils and just see what calls you. Just get whichever ones seem to spark your interest because they're probably the ones you need. And then I use that a lot to shift me. If I'm in a low place or there's a problem or I'm in my mind, I'll grab an essential oil and I'll take those 7 deep breaths. And it's just amazing. It's one of the quickest tools I know. There are 3 of them. I've given you essential oils, which I think you should check out, and I'd love to hear if you find some what your experience is. The sound, putting on music to shift you back into presence, or some sort of movement, whether it's dancing or jumping jacks or a walk outside. They're just lovely ways to shift and bring yourself present and get you back on track. And they're all using the flowing feminine nature of oxytocin. So that's what we're trying to do. And I look forward to our next talk. And I hope you share your comments with me and that you enjoy your day.